Many of you would be wondering why did it take so much time to make this video. It's been a while. Thousands and thousands of my fans have been bothering me since the last video. When will the next one come out? And here it is, of course. Songs of Conquest, my conclusion, to the playthrough. As of now, I have put almost 60 hours into the game, and it was a blast. My first opinion of the game was very good, and it pretty much held up and delivered even more on the things that I didn't expect to. But disappointed me in some minor issues, of course. Nothing is perfect. Well, to start off, should you buy the game? Absolutely yes. I liked it so much that I have even bought the supporter DLC. And the only thing that DLC does is when you're browsing the main menu, there is a top button, the supporter upgrade button, and when you press it, there is a sound of the developers cheering you on, like "Yay!" or something like that. When you press it, button mash it, the sound becomes cursed, of course, and it's kind of sweet. Also, what you get in that DLC is a bird companion from to your first hero when you start the match. It's like pixelated thing around it. If you play Rana faction, the Marsh faction, you get some flies or something. Maybe it depends on the hero to hero basis. I'm not sure. And two new color options for your faction. When you play a multiplayer lobby, you can choose your own color. And with this DLC, you get also pink and black color, and it's kind of neat. It's kind of neat. And yeah. Right now, as of early November 2025. There are only 2 days left for a discount on this game. Massive discount, by the way. And I urge you to buy it. Even when it is not on a discount, I urge you to at least try something like this. Try the not so legal method of procuring the game, and after you like it, you can buy the full version, of course. And it was good. But first things first. The sound. I always talk about the sound. Many of us really peculiar about their sounds, and the game overall sounds great. I've played pretty much with every faction. Excluding DLC factions, because I have played a little bit of the Roots faction, the most new faction on the DLC, and it was a little bit overwhelming. And the Vanir faction, Slavic Viking faction. I didn't play that, but my friend played that a lot, and we have tried a lot of multiplayer lobbies. It was fun. But overall, the game sounds great. Again, not Paul Anthony Romero great, but it is very good on its own right. I think most of the people who are trying this game are coming from the Heroes of Might and Magic background. They want to try something new in the formula, or they're just trying out everything that is on the market, and that's why you just cannot compare the two. One is heavily inspired by the other. Not just inspired, many of the mechanics go straight to the songs from Heroes of Might and Magic 3, but there are a lot of good things on its own. And the main thing is, if you are a Heroes of Might and Magic player, is you should be ready for the transition, because if you play the same game for 30 years and you get something new, you are inevitably will be in a discomfort of not knowing what the fuck you're doing. And this game is different, and in many cases it is better, for me at least. uh, the game sounds good. The music is good. Songs of Conquest, the game is called. Therefore, after each mission you complete, you get a little bit of a song, and each campaign basically a one song. And these songs are slightly corny, but overall nice, you know. And the animations of these story are really charming too. Um, Back to the topic of Heroes of Might and Magic, transition. Why should you try the game if you are a Heroes fan? Because it is a different game. Yeah, but it scratches a lot of same itches. It also tactical, strategical. There are also roleplay elements like skills, magics, items for your characters. There is other forms of progression like upgrades for your units and your overall faction. There is economy of resources, but why it is good for you, or it is good for someone I think the ideal candidate to play this game is if you ask your son or someone who always wanted to try the heroes, but always thought that they are a little bit too complex. This game is simpler in that regard. There are less of resources. The late game is much more, direct. The game is faster overall, so there won't be the same problem like million save files that are not completed to the fullest. Most likely, if you spend an evening setting up the lobby with your friends, that you are going to complete the game. It is the most likely outcome. The first time we played it, we played with the three of us on the 6-slot map. So there were three of us players, human players, and three bots, and it took a little bit too much. The map was just too large, and we were spread too far from each other, and there were not much of a reason to fight with each other until one of us just stumped all three bots on its own. What I'm trying to say is, if you're playing in a moderately small group of friends, like I do, we play with from 2 to 4 people at a time. It is a blast, and the game don't take too long. The game is simpler, it's streamlined, but it has a lot of depth to it. A lot of depth that I, coming from Heroes of Might and Magic, didn't expect, really. One of the DLC factions straight up does, when your units are upgraded to tier 2, they become completely different units. So you just have a huge variety of very, very, very different units. The essence system, and that's the main core of the game. You don't have spells in the adventure map, as I said before, but you have them during the game. How do you get the mana? You have different kinds of mana, 5 kinds if I remember correctly, and they are called essences. When your unit stacks starts its turn, you get its essence to your mana pool, and you know all of the spells from the get-go. Therefore you can cast all of the spells as long as you have mana. You don't have limit on how many spells you get to cast, as long as you have the essences. That is a blast. And of course, if you upgrade the respective school of magic, your the quality of the spells upgrades too. So that's overall the basics of the gameplay. Graphics, that's the mixed bag, because from one hand the game looks beautiful. The designs are, for the most part, are gorgeous, very charming, very charming. And the problem is, and when I started, it was much more of a problem. But you see, uh, the backgrounds of the map and the clickable objects on the map, be it something that you can collect, or some neutral dwellings that you can visit, they can somehow blend into the environment. And there could be some just aesthetic ruins or something that are not clickable, but they look like they are. And in time, you just your mind processes what is and what is not clickable. But even so, a couple of times during my multiplayer sessions, there were moments when I was traveling through the road, and there were a little bit of tiles below the road, and there was a forest there. And since the forest is it's movable, when you scale down and up the map screen, it's like it's like origami. It flips on you. It's like 2.5D. And the textures of the forest, they cover up these lower tiles. Therefore, it is it is not difficult to miss some of the drops that could be hidden below this road, below these tiles. I hope you understand me correctly. Therefore, one of the mates that I'm playing with, he just presses the Alt button repeatedly when he travels, so he most certainly knows where everything is. So maybe that's a good habit to have. But I think from the design perspective, it is you can improve on that. That's what I mean. Story. I think, as I said before, the game is very, very much good for newbies. The default difficulty setting, called Fair, it's the second difficulty setting out of 5, maybe. And it is quite easy for the guy who played the game over many years, even though I didn't had much success in the multiplayer. I'm comparatively not a good player. I'm below average. Well, maybe I more close to the average, because there are a lot of enthusiasts of the genre like I am, who are not competitive but still like to dabble on it. And the game was quite easy for me. It was rare for me to lose a lot of units. In the second campaign, I basically lost nothing. I was just traversing through the map and killing everything in sight and gathering all the resources that I wanted. But if you're new to the genre, I think it is good, because you're not punished for your macro mistakes, like not controlling how efficiently you spend your time with the game, and you can develop good habits on the way. Like having separate logistics hero who can bring you new forces when your own are a little bit depleted. The game is very. It is certainly quite linear. The campaign is very linear. Your path can branch out in certain scenarios, but you will always get to the same destination. And even though there are always some, things that you could miss, uh, the game is very story heavy. There are a lot of dialogues, but they are not voiced over. Therefore, you need to read a lot, which is all right with me, I guess. And the game story, these four campaigns, they flesh out the factions very good. All of them have their good and a bad side of the coin. Like Barya, they're free, very much, free market capitalist city states. They very mercantile in both good and bad ways. It is common practice to be indebted to each other and settle out these debts. But on the other hand, they practice slavery. And when some of them say it is not slavery when you capture froglings, I say as long as it can talk and have complex thoughts, it is a human being basically, and that is not great. Rana, on the other hand, these Frogling faction, it is a new faction in the game lore. Basically, the campaign is how about is centered about them building their nation and forces and all their military, and yeah, they are embracing their traditions. They are saving their people from the slavery and oppression, but they are very very bloodthirsty, especially dragons. They don't usually do any diplomacy. They're just expanding their marsh. Arleon is a collection of baronies, the vanilla Western European knights, who the half of the faction, well, half of the faction are these knights. Knights, archers, footmen, militia, etc. The drill. The usual stuff. The other half is the fairies. These baronies of Arleon. They have some kind of alliance with the forest fairies, and they fight together. Personally, I think it is the weakest faction in all fronts. In terms of aesthetics, I think they could be a little bit cooler. The fairy part of the faction doesn't mix with the human part of the faction very well. I think they should influence, each other, aesthetics more. Like this would be a forest knights, like more of the knights, wearing these antlers on their helmets, like Robert Baratheon in, Song of Ice and Fire. And it is a tutorial campaign, the fastest campaign of the four default campaigns. And Cecilia is very much an unlikable character, the main character of this campaign. It is difficult to root for her, and I don't get the appeal of Arleon, from the moral, standpoint, because all they do is just infight and kill everybody. I don't get the appeal. Seriously, I don't get the appeal. And the last faction that I didn't mention is the Barony of Loth, but I don't think it is fair name for them because it is the union of Barony of Loth. Barony of Loth, Unseen Society, the cult is like Cult of the Damned from the Warcraft 3, kind of, not really. And the ancient wielders, followers of the dead Empress Aurelia. And their union is based upon that nostalgia. The whole game revolves around the things that happened in the past. The Empress Aurelia, she destroyed the Rana's previous civilization, and she created the Noth. And the people from Barony of Loth follow the oath, the Unseen Society follow the oath, and the undead that crops up all around the land, they follow the oath. Basically, that oath means the eternal service. When you die, you become an undead. And that's why that's an undead faction. Their good side is they are quite loyal to each other. Surprisingly, but the bad side is, of course, that they are blind to the following of this spirit of a dead woman, and yeah, they kind of talk like, yeah, she had good intentions and the life was stable, and when you live under the Stalin rule, the life can be also quite stable. But it is heavily implied that the magics that she uses, the undead magics, they are basically curse, and it is, it pollutes the land, and it corrupts the spirits of those who use it. So that's about the lore, and the campaigns are fun. Single player wise, if you don't really play these games in terms of multiplayer, I think you should try it. But if you are a fan of the genre, I think you should bump your difficulty setting higher. But I'm not sure how much higher. At least third one, which is called Worthy, if I think correctly. But I wouldn't be surprised if it wouldn't be much of a challenge either. I think you should find it on your own. But what about the multiplayer? The core part of the gameplay, the one thing that makes you stay in the game and come back to it over and over again. Well, for me, really, it was really difficult to find someone to play with. Because many people who I talked about it, they had a little bit of a skepticism, and the skepticism, is understandable because the game came out in the earlier part of last year. I think it was spring 2024. So the game only is 1.5 years old. And it is already 75% discount, has it, so they're thinking that the game is dying, therefore the publisher is getting desperate. Yeah, I think it is well deserved, thought to have, but they didn't understand that, and I explained them that the game was in the early access since 2022, so this game is not 1 year old but 4 year old. And also The community of this game is not very big because, as I said before, most of the gamers that try this game, they come from Heroes 3, and you could really get uncomfortable easily if you're not ready for it. If you're not ready to try out some new things. Therefore, many of them just don't play it too much. I think we need more of the completely new players that haven't tried the genre at all, who have tried Heroes but didn't understood it. I think this is much easier way to slip into the that style of the gameplay, that tradition, and yeah. This game could be really fun both alone and with friends. But coming back to the multiplayer, it was difficult for me to find someone to play with around my friends. And the reason for it is why didn't I want to play with randoms, even though there are lobbies for it and there are Discord communities where you can arrange a match with a stranger. There are a lot of the guys that are up to this. That civilization games, they have taught me valuable lessons. They are also turn-based strategy games, and the lesson is simple. If you optimize your game, you optimize your fun up until you don't have any fun. Because when you learn the meta, you pretty much understand that there is no versatility in what you're doing if you want to do everything correctly. There is only one right way, and when you're playing the same game over and over and over again, it gets very stale quickly. So that's why I intended to stay casual with this game too, to play it only among my friends. And I basically bought the copy for two of my friends, and thankfully, the stars aligned in a way that one of them wanted to play it with me, and the other one was not against the idea, and he even brought a friend with him. So we had, 4-man lobby, and all of us pretty much enjoyed the game. Some of us more than others, but still, even from the single player perspective, it is nice. And when you play among the friends, when you explain some, transitional difficulties to them, I think it is exciting game to play. There is a problem though. Even though there is a timer, for the turns, because you can just make a couple of buildings, travel your hero, and you're done, like in less than a minute. But some of the other guys could get in the 3 consecutive battles, which he plays manually, because he wants to play conservatively. Therefore, when your turn goes for 40 seconds, and his turn goes for at least 5 minutes, it can drag a little bit on. Therefore, there are a couple of things that you can do. First of all, simultaneous turns, of course, it always on. And the game does a very good thing about it, since when the players can see each other, simultaneous turns off, and it becomes consecutive turns. And you can form an aggression pact, both click similar dots, so you can play similarly again if you don't want to fight yet. And what we did, because we were friends, we didn't really bothered with limitation of information. When someone has an interesting battle, he just streamed it on Discord, and we all watched it, and it was quite fun, especially when there were cool duels between each other, and anybody else was open to watch them. It was great. Uh, so that made things slightly easier, but I think in many ways you can just get used to alt tab button, just scroll some things on the webs, read some book or something while the other guys do their turn if you don't have much to do in your turn. So you better get used to that. It's not, a very fast game. It is a commitment in terms of your time. But overall, the game is still great. In terms of balance, of course, there are two DLCs, two DLC factions, which at least they seem quite unbalanced, in comparison to the four default factions. But I want to try them more before having, more of an opinion on them, because they are very complex in their gameplay and in what they provide. But they at least look very fucking cool. I bought them with the game, of course. I have them. If I will play the game next, I will most likely be playing single player missions that come with these DLC. Each DLC has two single player missions. Many fans were upset that they didn't get a full campaign for their factions. But, if there at least some single player content, I think it is at least alright, and it is a good way, at least for me, to explore the faction, how it plays, and in the fun and not competitive environment. And when things get competitive, I will be ready. And oh boy, this game can get quite competitive. So my closing thoughts about the game, as I said, almost 50 hours, which are great. I have had a lot of fun during the last couple of weeks playing this game, and we gather with our friends more often because we spontaneously want to play the game again. A lot of people really miss out when they don't try it, and if you always wanted to get into the genre, that's a great entry point. The developers, I think, they have put a very big goal. They it is very difficult what they are trying to achieve in terms of balance. This game, from what I can see, is very difficult to balance, even though it is quite straightforward at times. So I hope they won't abandon it. I hope the DLC will still be oncoming. And in terms of story, at least, I think they're very much setting up a sequel. They are ready to they're ready for this game to be successful, so they could make the sequel, which will remedy all of the mistakes of the game on the fundamental level, because there are some things that are there are many problems that stem from the fundamental decisions of this game. So I think that's what will happen. But as long as this game is around, I am going to have fun. And I'm very glad that I have something of that kind to play, especially with my friends. So yeah, that's about it. Also, if you follow the channel, I recently bought on a discount first, well, basically Yakuza 7, Yakuza Like Dragon game. I have played other games of these, franchises before. I have completed Zero and the first Kiwami game. I didn't complete second Kiwami game, but I really want to someday. And this game already seems like fun, and it seems to have all of these quirks of the franchise, like an absurd script, everything, well, maybe I will tell about this more next time. But so far, the game was great, and it is likely that the next video will be about the Yakuza Like Dragon. So, yeah, thank you for staying with me here, and until next time, see you.